Hello and welcome back to the Extended Branch. My name is Andrew Zatello. I am the Worshipful Master of Olive Branch Lodge number 16 of Free and Accepted Masons in Freehold, New Jersey. As always, I am joined by my co-host, Billy Bilbo.
Hi, everyone.
Unfortunately, Kevin had a bit of a family issue this week.
No Cotter the Gray.
Yeah, no Cotter, unfortunately. But Grogu is behind us somewhere.
He is. He's hiding
Don't worry,
back
he's
there,
giving us messages.
Yep. He's feeding us mental messages from the Cotterman.
Yes. As always, the opinions expressed here are our own and not any Grand Lodge jurisdictional images or thoughts.
Yeah.
We keep it to ourselves. This is just the opinions of Masons on the side.
Yep.
Our guest tonight, brother, Stefan. No.
Stefan Jaime.
Steve Hertel.
Steve Hertel, Senior Deacon of Navasink Lodge number 9, if I'm correct.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Happy to be here.
Yeah.
It's
Awesome.
a pleasure.
And it's great to see another younger brother on the show.
Yeah.
I am no longer officially the youngest member of the show.
Again,
We also have a different engineer this time, engineer Criss Madd,
Thanks
behind
for
the
coming,
boards,
Chris.
twisting the ones and twos and knobs and things.
All the switches, dials, and knobs.
All of them.
Yes.
All of them.
So let's get into this.
so
Actually,
here we
no,
go.
Billy, you have some promo stuff to do.
Yeah, I got a little bit of admin. We'll get that. We'll blast right through this real quick. So we are the Extended Branch. It is Andrew, Kevin, and I, and we can be found in several places. Primarily YouTube at the Olive Branch Lodge.
Yes, Olive Branch Lodge 16 on YouTube.
Olive Branch Lodge 16 on YouTube. Is it The Extended Branch?
Mm-hmm.
The Extended Branch on Instagram. And there's one more. What is it?
I don't know. I think something has to do with
Right.
Gmail.
Right. It's that's right. So if you guys have questions, we may or may not have answers, but I definitely have questions. And if you want to share them, or maybe we can read some of them on air. On air. We're not on TV.
Oh, we're on air. Don't
Yeah,
worry.
fine.
I'm famous now.
Yes,
gotta-
this is
This is
perpetuity. You'll be on
Yeah,
YouTube. That's
forever,
it.
yeah.
For a more
Oh my God, your face
good
here
thing.
it is. Yeah, it's a good thing you got a haircut. So you can send us emails, questions, whatever you need at WeGotBBQs, WEGOT BBQS@gmail.com. And yeah, let them
answer
fire,
to
guys.
the best of our ability.
Yeah, any of us, all three of us, can answer at any time. So be wary. You never know if you're going to get an immediate response from us.
Yeah, we do have it up on the phones, and
Yeah.
we're waiting.
Bling
So-
bling. Yep, I check all the time. Other than that, we have a little gavel business. Maybe we can pass the gavel a bit. So we are right now in our Masonic year in what we call refreshment, but some of us like to refer to it as going black, where we
No, going dark.
Dark,
Don't
there.
stop that. It's called going dark.
I'm very bad at words.
And that term kind of ruins the idea. It's like going dark means nothing is going on,
No
which is
light, yeah.
untrue.
True.
Which is
Yeah.
untrue.
But
We
there's
are
always
still
light,
gathering
yeah.
at the lodge. We are still having fellowship. Some of the newer officers are still coming and practicing for their next term, which Billy and probably Steve, you
yeah.
are also.
That's what that was my gavel. I was gonna say we're still cooking. The
Yeah.
lights
Time
are
off.
still on,
No
guys.
time
Yeah.
No time off whatsoever.
So,
Hell, go ahead. No, you finish your statement.
So real quick, because I'm very excited, I'm very happy to say. So I will officially be the senior deacon next year, and Steve can attest to this. There's lots of work to be done as a
a lot of
senior.
fun.
A lot of fun.
Really
and
rewarding.
I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. But that also
you control the room. You know,
Yeah.
aside from the worshipful master, you really control the floor.
Yeah, I was gonna say the lodge is mine now.
It is. Yeah. All you need is that brother senior deacon. Attend to the alarm, and then it's yours.
And
Yeah.
I was lucky enough to initiate a very close friend of mine,
Awesome.
Hooray.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
always a
cool.
plus.
especially a senior deacon.
Nice.
Oh, that's
Great.
awesome. So as senior deacon, when we go through, the candidates cannot come into the room, basically, unless the worshipful master gives me the say-so to let them in. So,
Or the senior deacon in general.
or
yes.
the CS. No, it's me, Andrew.
It's always me.
Not in general.
Excelente.
Excellent. So, so yeah, I'm very excited, and I've been wanting to have you on because you're there now, and I have questions for you about what's coming up. But before we get into all that, let's do some personal business. Stephen Hertel, how are you?
I'm doing great.
Oh, thank you so much for coming on, especially last minute. I really appreciate it.
It was
Yes.
it was a nice surprise to see.
Oh, yeah. So, tell us a little bit about yourself. What do you do? Where are you from? How long have you been a Mason?
From Brooklyn, New York.
Oh, hey.
Oh,
hey,
God.
I did not know that. Great.
I came to New Jersey when I was 12, so
12, okay.
not much rubbed off on me.
Yeah, you don't have an accent, so you're good. You got a Jersey Shore accent.
It's been in Jersey ever since, and for work I'm an AV guy,
very
installing
cool.
security cameras, home theaters, outdoor speakers, all
Very
that stuff.
cool. Very cool.
Yeah, so
Mostly
you get to
hanging
see-
TVs.
Yeah,
and-
you get to see those very expensive houses over in Rumson and whatnot.
Yes.
$10,000 flat screen TVs and stuff.
It's not even flat screen. It's going to be like that paper thin roll up TVs.
Right, magic TVs.
Yeah.
Just a wall. Yeah.
But the less luxurious side of the job is, attics and crawl spaces. and
blown
all that
insulation.
stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
I remember that nonsense doing
Corningware. It's the itchiest
And-
thing you'll never get rid of.
Every day you get glass in your arms, no matter what.
Oh.
But as far as a Mason, I think it was 2018 when I was initiated.
I believe I
was-
brought you through.
Yeah, I was a bit of a fast track.
You were part of the outdoor degree, weren't you?
No.
At gyms?
No. Oh, no. I was there for that, but I
You were
wasn't.
okay. I thought I brought
was
you
already a
through.
master at that point.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a September initiation, October passing, and
Wow.
November raising.
Wow.
And it was initiated in Navasink, passed at Durand, and raised at Olive Branch.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's very cool.
I believe it was Ken's year.
Okay, so then I was a junior warden then.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah, it was a great
I
time.
cooked for you.
Yes, you sure did. Yeah, excellent. That's something I'll say. The stewards at Olive Branch, they really take care of
Yes.
others.
I think it started with Kevin and I. We started the initiative of the actual home cooked or lodge cooked meals
Yeah,
as much
yeah.
as we could, and then from then on, every
That's-
steward pair after us has just been
Everyone liked
so
it.
much.
Oh my God, yeah.
It's a different, you go to some places and they either have it catered or they're buying, pizza or subs
Right.
or something.
Well,
and
that's
it's like,
nice every now and then, but
like to go there and like, yeah, these guys slaved over a stove for the last 2 hours,
yeah.
and they're like, I can taste it.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel this in my belly.
yeah, like an army marches on its stomach, and when you can say that these two gentlemen and maybe more, depending
Yeah.
on your lodge,
They really
made
worked
this
for it.
meal,
did well.
you definitely appreciate it.
They did well.
So all right, so before I get into the arc,
Ha ha ha.
Andrew Rizzatello questions. I just want to pass the gavel to myself. As Billy said, we are on summer refreshment. Billy is practicing for his new position. Steve, are you practicing for junior warden currently?
here and there. Not as much right now because we still have a lot to do for
Right,
the year going
right.
on. But
But you are getting a little bit in
yeah,
there.
whenever someone's absent.
Doesn't the
or-
view change?
Yeah.
It's
It does.
different,
It
right?
does, yes.
And I and all of the past masters can agree with me. I'm practicing for the entire Master Mason degree. I am going to do the entire thing from the East. And if anyone has ever done the Master Mason degree, you know that is a steep hill to climb. There's a lot that goes on. There's a lot of acting that you have to do, especially in the second half, which is the big reveal kind of thing for Masons.
I'm excited. I'm
Well, now that
very
you
excited.
mention it, it's
Andrew.
not often, I guess. I don't think I've noticed it that someone does both the first and
No,
second section.
Yeah,
for the
there's
last,
always,
the
at the
only
same
one
time.
that I can say during my time as a Mason was Ralph De Palma. He did the entire thing himself, and nothing against any of the other masters because it's a workload. It's a lot, of
course.
and
Not
that
everyone has the time.
yeah, that second
million
section
different
is rough. There's a lot to remember, a lot to memorize, and I'm gonna do this. So I believe we have it scheduled for early November.
Yeah.
We will hopefully have 5 new Master Masons in early November of this year.
Wonderful.
So, did you decide that before you were?
I
master?
decided no. I decided that
Andrew.
about March.
You're a
But
maniac. You're a
but
maniac. That's
it's,
awesome.
But
You're
it's
a
also
maniac, though.
so. Also, there's a thing. So there are times where the degrees are what we call, like the one-day degree, which we've talked about, or there's something called exemplar, where it's you have a large group of people and only one person actually experienced the degree firsthand. The other people watch it, and unfortunately, it takes away from the solemnity of the degrees because there is a moral moral story and all this other stuff that really
Yes.
affects you
And
during these things.
where I kind of I don't want to cut you off, but this is a whole thing, Andrew. I mean, like, no, keep going. I'm sorry. Keep going. Keep going with your thing.
So
I'll be good.
And I have seen degrees through Exemplar because I've gone all the way through the York Rite and the other, and so I've seen these things. And there was one degree in the York Rite called the Cryptic Council. The Cryptic Council is the group. It was the Select Master degree, and the team that put on that degree did it so beautifully that I'm never going to forget it. And that that was like 2 years ago. That inspired me to want to put on degrees in a way that the candidates are never going to forget what they went through.
I like that.
And especially with the Master Mason degree, the second half of that degree is something to behold. And if the actors in that degree put it on well enough, you are not going to forget it.
Right.
You'll have a headache.
It's like a time machine almost. If you do it well.
Yeah, it is.
Like a
You
time
are
machine.
you are transported back to biblical times. It's beautiful.
Very cool. Very cool.
So I felt like that before. Yeah.
Right? It does.
You forget where you are. You forget
That
for-
happens in the EA though. Everyone
It-
comes out
it's
afterwards
sad
saying,
because, like,
I
everyone
felt-
forgets the
I felt
fellowcraft.
like
Yeah.
I was looking into the 1800s.
Yeah, that's great.
It's just the setting that.
And our
Absolutely.
our fancy languages.
Yeah, that too. It is antiquated, but it makes sense. It is. There's something about, and that's kind of the problem we have with membership, where we need to advertise to the younger generation that it's not an old man's club. There's something else here, which is interesting. Steve, how old are you?
25.
So you're
Very young.
more than a decade younger than I am. What attracted
I'm not gonna
you
say.
to this? Like as a younger man, what attracted
Sure.
Oh yeah, because this is grumpy
you
old
will-
men in
yeah,
secrets.
You
You know?
Xennial, like
No, it's a good story. My mentor in my life, person I look up to a lot. He was I called him my stepdad. It was never by paper or anything, but he was the guy there for me from my formative years, like when I was like 12 and up to when I became a teenager, and
Gotcha.
whatever, 18. And like years and years ago when I had first met him, he just like mentioned offhandedly, "Hey, look into the Masons. Like they're good people." And he wasn't one himself at the time, and just. He always was just dropping wisdom and knowledge, and so I remember that happening. But years and years later, I had a great friend, and I just mentioned the Masons, and he was like, "Oh, my dad's one." I was like, "Oh, no way. Can we talk? Like, give me his number or whatever. Like, I want to find out more." He said, "Sure." And then that was Roger Warden, and he invited me out, and when I walked in, my perception of it was like I'm kind of expecting to walk into a place with just a bunch of older people, right?
Yeah.
And like
Smoking jackets and a cigar
right,
on the
right,
bar.
right.
I wish we were that rich.
And so my mindset was like, whatever. I'll trust my, what my stepdad said years ago because he's always led me the right way.
Right.
And on top of that, of course, like I've done like basic research, aside from like National Treasure, being awesome.
hey man,
right?
Dan Brown has done much for us.
Right.
Alan Quartermain, the Lost City of Gold.
And I'll admit, it was a really attractive thought, like thinking of joining the organization that George Washington was a part of. So then I figured, let me see what it was about, and I walked in, and my initial perception was exactly that. A bunch of older dudes around me in like groups and all that.
Yeah,
so I
there
was
were
like,
cliques. Yeah,
and I haven't had much like interaction with people out of my age bracket aside from like in stores and whatever.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm trying to
true,
buy
yeah.
something, so I was like, okay, time to bite the bullet. I just walked up, "Hi, I'm so and so. I'm looking for Roger." Like, it's like, oh, there he is, and like the rest is history. Like
Roger passed you around to everybody.
I kind of like joined on a whim, but not knowing what I would get out of it, and what I have gotten out of it is just like okay.
Good.
Don't
I mean,
don't-
your lodge specifically, Navasink, has definitely gotten younger. Same with Olive Branch has definitely gotten younger. Not that that's a bad thing, but it definitely has gotten younger in age, and I think that's that's
lots of
definitely
passionate people.
Yeah. And it's I've
Good to
said
see.
it is good to see. It is good to see, obviously, membership going up because that's any organization, not having the members and everything like that. But like to see a younger crowd come in and offer fresh ideas and like, the way we used to do it may not always work, but there's this young kid that has an idea. Let's see if this works. Oh, look at that.
Right.
It does now. Not to insult the old timers, but
of course not.
it's okay, we got to change little things. Like, I guarantee 10 years ago, there was a huge uproar when it came to social media. Like, we shouldn't need this.
No, don't do this. Why are we doing it? Right, but... And they talk about, I'm doing this for the good of the lodge and the future of the lodge. But then you look at the younger guys, and it's literally they are the future of the lodge. So maybe give them an ear,
So that's a good segue into the overall topic of tonight is lodge leadership.
Yes.
Steve and I have gone through a very non-traditional route when it comes to going through the officers' chairs. I've skipped a bunch of chairs. Steve, you skipped a lot of chairs. Mm-hmm. You started as historian?
No. Not on paper or anything. I was standing in as Tyler for a little while.
Yeah, I did that a couple times.
But then the first official officer position was junior deacon.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, right there you jump 4 chairs.
Yeah, 4 chairs.
Which is, and again, sometimes it comes down to membership issues. Mm-hmm. It comes down to various things. And you get some guys that'll argue and say, "Oh, you've missed out on all these things, all this knowledge of the different chairs that you skipped." But sometimes that has to happen.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
you're force-fed pretty much everything below you. You're like,
yeah,
because now you basically learn what the master of ceremonies had to do.
Right.
All of it. Yeah.
It's just,
And the stewards, really, they're not upstairs folk.
Right.
So
they are, but
this is the lesson that I was always taught when it came to lodge leadership and the different chairs. So for the uninitiated and the profane, as we like to say, there are in New Jersey 15 officer chairs. Mm-hmm. Okay, there are 2 stewards, senior and junior, 2 what's called masters of ceremony.
Again, this is New Jersey.
This is New Jersey. This changes every state,
yes, overseas,
everything like that. 2 masters of ceremony, junior and senior, 2 deacons, junior and senior, treasurer, secretary, organist, historian, chaplain, marshal, and then you get the 3 elected. Was actually 5 because secretary and treasurer are elected. But
not very often.
Those are chairs. We've discussed this over and over again, and I'm going to drop it. Hey, Adam.
Hi, Adam. Mr. Sash. There's your...
Those are the chairs that you don't want to change every year because of the commitment that they need.
Yeah.
So you have the worshipful master, the junior and senior wardens. Those are the elected chairs.
Yes.
And once you get to that point, that's pretty much jokingly referred to as the black hole. Like, that's where you are. Seriously though, like you've got like Steve, you're the senior deacon now. It's like you better make your mind up before something changes because now you got to start. 3 years ahead. You got to plan.
And the only way out is through. So
yeah,
get moving.
So to jump from those different chairs and skip over them, you're losing a little bit of a knowledge base. The stewards obviously prepare the meals here in New Jersey. Mm-hmm. They prepare the meals, and they have a very minor role when it comes to the ritual aspect. Yeah. Then you would go to the the masters of ceremony, which have a much bigger role upstairs when preparing the candidates and introducing them to the lodge.
We've discussed it's like a play that's actually your first speaking role.
Oh, it absolutely is.
So the stewards are like the chorus, where they're not necessarily not important. They don't have an important role, but they're necessary to be there. They kind of move things along, and then you have
the backup singers.
Yeah, thank you, the backup singers. Yeah,
20 feet from stardom.
And then you got the master of ceremonies, who's basically like your narrator, the guy who introduces the play to you. You're you as the candidate or the audience, and now this guy comes in and he pretty much is like, all right, get ready for the show. Here we go.
Yeah, he's I wouldn't say the ringleader, but he's literally the master of ceremonies.
Like, yeah.
Take those words literally.
Yeah.
From there, you either go to junior or senior deacon. Mm-hmm. These 2 gentlemen, you have a senior deacon and a junior deacon right here, and the 2 of you can attest to the importance of your roles in lodge.
Critical role.
Both. Yeah. Yep.
I mean, the junior
Most
deacon.
Are.
Well, yes, but like now you're in a position where it's like I'm very invested in the ongoings of the lodge, and you're getting, especially Billy, I don't know how much Navasink does with you, but like now you're starting to learn the financial aspects.
Yeah.
And
boy.
The actual, it is a business.
Yeah.
Well, once you're in a deacon position, that's when you're asked if you intend to continue here or if you want to step out of the officer line.
Yeah. Get into a less.
That's when finances and officer lines for the next 4 years come into play.
Mm-hmm.
It's like business training.
Right.
Yeah.
It
There's
it
lot to
really
consider.
is. And unfortunately, I skipped both those chairs. I went from senior
right.
master of ceremonies to junior
Junior
warden.
warden. That's right. You jumped a
Now,
pretty-
and that's no disrespect because I did fill in seats like we've spoken about.
Yeah.
Like I filled in for senior deacon a bunch of times, and it's very fun. Like because like we said at the beginning of the show,
Yeah,
you control the
IRL.
I
floor.
think it's my
Yeah.
favorite chair so far, but
You
I've
can-
only had 2.
Well, but
Three,
it's
technically.
you're so active, you're so involved, and like I said, you control the floor when it comes to ritual work.
Right.
You know, aside from the worshipful master, you're the one pushing people
Right.
around and telling people where to go and things like that. You know, so it's a very I don't think prestigious is the right word, but
Well, practically, it makes sense, like the officer position, to get you prepared. Like it's more responsibility that comes with each chair.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely. Yeah, you
Yeah.
move up a little bit more so for me as junior deacon, having gone through the steward. So you find, I have said before, and I like to say that steward is the first time you learn how to serve the brothers, not just food, but also mentally. They come to you. You know, you're like their bartender when you're the steward.
Right,
Yeah.
because you're in one
Literally,
spot.
yeah.
You're in
You're
one spot
trapped,
and
so-
they're coming by, right?
Yep,
And-
you can't go anywhere and everyone talks to you, but that's fine. You learn your role. That's the beginning parts, and then as master of ceremony, that's more of a ritual side, honestly, because there's not a lot that the master of ceremonies does downstairs, other than he's an officer and he represents the lodge, which is we all do that, whether you're worshipful master or whoever you are.
I do have to say, and this was told to me by worshipful brother Ken Long, as master of ceremonies, specifically senior master of ceremonies, you are the face of the lodge.
Yeah.
You are the first person the candidate sees before
yeah,
he
true.
enters the lodge to become a Mason. Not in the way of like, oh, hi, I'm Joe Schmo. How are you?
Right.
It's right before their initiation. You are the first person. You are presenting the lodge and giving them this impression of what it is we do.
Right. Yeah.
It's not just the old man's club. It's like, no, there's a moral you're going to be taught. There's something else here, and this is why all of us enjoy this. And that I feel is very important. In a way, almost more important than some of the other roles, because it's like that's your first step. It's like you're dealing with
your
this
first-
guy who's guiding you in,
upstairs.
who's opening the door for you, quite literally.
And then just recently we learned we had a quickie meeting on Tuesday, and as junior deacon, and it made a lot of sense. And I had a discussion with one of the PMs, past masters, after. And as junior deacon inside the lodge, one of the unspoken things that the junior deacon does is guard the door from people coming in. It's a symbolic thing. No one's going to try to break in, I would hope, but we
Steve has stories.
we have we guard the inside of the door, but also that should extend. That I think is the first time where it actually extends to the entirety, the fellowship hall as well, because you're now in one of the more important roles as an officer in the lodge, and you should be guarding the front door of the lodge. If that
Guarding
makes
the
sense.
west gate.
Yeah. So for me, metaphorically, that means the door that when people walk into the lodge and they see people. So you should be greeting people. Like, you should be the guy that comes in, that walks to that new brother or that candidate that comes in, and you say, hi, Brother Bill.
Your
and-
HR.
Yeah. If you have any problems, come to me. We'll direct you to the steward for complaints. And so, but
No
yeah.
food poisoning.
And I have to say, I like that idea where not only now are you upstairs important, you're now upstairs and downstairs important.
You're in a limbo now.
Yeah, you're a true face. So you have to be present. So now, because you're basically starting your campaign for worshipful master as junior deacon. Not that it's a campaign, but it's
If you don't have the support of other people,
Oh,
you
absolutely.
right,
won't,
because
you won't
it
go
is
any further.
it is an elected position. So if you are one of those people where you've gone through the chairs, but there are guys that just have never seen you except on like a degree night. You know what I mean? Like one of those guys that's like, oh,
I was guilty of that. I don't know how
Yeah.
many times people have yelled at me because I, as they say, ninja'd out of the room.
ninja. You calling
You
you
know,
Irish exit man?
I did.
Yeah.
I would just disappear, and as soon as I got into the junior warden's chair, I had a couple past masters come up to me like, "You can't do that no more. Like, you got to at least shake a couple people's hands before you leave."
Schmoozing
Yeah, it
becomes,
is.
Yeah, for sure.
And it definitely translates into regular life. I have noticed, and I'd ask you guys the same thing, that especially going through and becoming a leadership role in the lodge, has that mentality transitioned into your work life? Like, especially like Steve, you work, like Billy, you work by yourself essentially. Like, you have
more or
meetings
less.
once in there, but you're by yourself.
I'm alone.
Steve and I, we have not so much a team, but there's multiple people that we work with at times, and there's multiple personalities that we have to deal with. So have you noticed that you will reflect back to something that you may have dealt with in lodge, or a lesson that you may have learned from a past master, or just experience in lodge, and go, wait a second, this guy is this, type A personality. This is how I'm going to interact with him to not get what I want, but get the best result, possible, type thing.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I can't give you like a specific example, because I feel like it's more just like instinctual. Like,
Yes.
you're not making a conscious decision. But, there's no doubt that the leadership roles that my Masonic career has dropped upon me has reflected in my work, experience. When I first started this job, I didn't know anything about it. And it's been 2 years now, and, there's still plenty I need to learn,
Oh,
and a lot of
absolutely.
things that I'm not the best at.
Oh, I'm 5 years into mine.
I've got
Still learning.
I've got a lot more confidence where I can teach like, let's say, a new guy about what we're doing, and like confidently make the decision.
That's great.
But relating it to a T to Freemasonry is a little difficult. But there's plenty of crossovers.
Right.
Just about just on a basic interaction.
And that's what I mean. Exactly.
Right?
It's you're within the lodge, you're kind of forced. You have your little microcosm of personalities. You're forced to interact with, as we call them, the grumpy past masters.
Sure.
GPMs.
Or anyone for that, or the really strong-willed new EAs. Some of them are like that, and you've got to learn to adapt and deal with sounds too harsh, but just learn to adapt and understand. Was I in that position at one time? Was I that frivolous with Freemasonry in a way? Or is it like, do I have to continually be with this person to, especially when they're candidates, coax them into understanding, like, no, this is just it's a group of guys. We all have a similar mindset in that we are trying to better ourselves.
Yes.
Through fellowship and charitable works and ad nauseum, like whatever.
Getting rid of the rough edges.
Yes, chipping away the rough edges, as we love our allegories.
Yes, always. Yeah, our ashlers are rough and polished.
Must make shiny rock.
Shiny rock. I am shiny rock.
Where's that strop?
No, it's not Sweeney Todd.
No. So
sometimes.
When did you, both of you?
Sure.
Guises.
When use guys. When did you begin to notice? I mean, again, Steve, you jumped around, but even as an entered apprentice, when did you begin to notice the serious matters of the lodge, the financial aspects, the membership, things like that?
I know exactly when I noticed it. It was I think I already was a master, but it was when again, it was a fast track, so not much went on during those months when I had received my degrees. Except I did find my way to witness each degree like the week after.
That's
I
cool.
got.
That's very cool,
nice.
though. Yeah.
Right.
Or you try and go for your Brealey Award?
I already got it.
Nice.
Yeah, good man.
But just for a heads up, the Brealey Award is a specific award given in New Jersey for Masons that. For new Master Masons, that you have to see every degree twice or once. Twice.
There's a whole criteria I was going
You have to
for.
see every degree twice, and then there's optional things that you have to do, and then you're eligible for this award.
Although it's only once you're a Master Mason.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
those events didn't count towards it.
You have a year. Yeah, you have a full year.
But after I was made a Master Mason, I had gone along to the Masonic home in Burlington to give our annual donation to the people at the home and all that.
Right.
And that's when I had a taste of the importance of it, I saw like the conference table and just all the people around it that were all here for this specific purpose. And we were able to stay for the conversations thereafter, even after giving our donation. So I got to look into the Grand Lodge level of finances like very early on, and I was just kind of like blown away because I'd only seen so little of it from a Blue Lodge level.
Oh yes, it becomes very corporate at some point.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And unfortunately, it's with every group. The Elks, anybody. It doesn't matter.
We need organization.
Yeah,
you can't help it. That's the way it
That's
is. I mean, any organization where money flows into or out of, you have to have some kind of structure with. Yeah, and that's just the way it goes. For me, honestly, is when I became a steward. We started when you become a steward, you have to feed. Obviously, you have to do your kitchen stuff, and you get a stipend every month for $400.
At least with our lodge, that's different.
Yeah,
for
with
every
our
lodge.
nice. So
because I know Navasink might have a little bit more.
Yeah, so I started to do budgeting there, and during that year, I started to, I would have leftover money and stuff, and I would try to feed it back into certain parts of the lodge when I could, and I started to really pay attention. Like when we were up there, when we do our meetings, we have admin like we have here on the podcast, and we got to pay our bills, and we have donation requests and stuff like that. And at the end of the year, that first year, we had a financial report. We had a brother who stood up there, and he basically, as no offense.
It is.
As boring as it was.
It is.
He went through it line by line, and I started, because I had been dealing with, lodge money. It's not my money. It's lodge money. I started to pay attention, like, where is our money going? What are we doing with this? How's it going? And I got to tell you, it hasn't really, like, since then I've become a little more hyper-focused. So now I'm really starting to try to pay attention, and the little access that I have, and you don't get that much access, but I'm really starting to pay attention to it, and it's, do I like it? No, I don't like knowing that about, my fun time club. But is it necessary? Yes.
Yes, it's very necessary.
Did I make a decision to make myself learn this stuff? I sure did.
Yeah.
I sure did. I decided that, all three of us did. We've made, and I'm assuming, Steve, you've made that decision, yes?
This is voluntary.
Yes, okay. So, we
told.
Yeah. We decided that we were going to take control of this, and yeah, you can't.
And it isn't. It's not a dictatorship.
No,
there are checks and balances. We have trustees for every lodge.
I say take control. You don't take control of anything.
It's a benevolent dictatorship.
Yes,
it's a democracy. It's definitely a democracy. It
truly is. Yeah. That we do literally vote on a lot of things in lodge, and at least with Olive Branch, there was a brother a couple years back that gave us a very large donation, and one of the stipulations that he put on it was that it could only be used for charity, and it has to be off of the interest generated on loan. Like he gave us a large sum of money, and that the interest alone is enough to at least give out various little donations here and there for the baseball team, for some, like we've had the Girl Scouts come to us a couple times. We had a Boy Scout come to us that wanted to build. Was it the friendship bench?
Oh yeah, we have our little area out there. I love that. Yeah, they made us a little sitting area outside our lodge.
We can see the rewards of our charity, and definitely, especially with the baseball team who actually wears our name on their jersey.
Actually, to go back for a little while ago, the little library.
Yes, the little library.
Have you looked in there lately?
No.
The books are moving, man.
Are they?
They're books in there that I've never seen before. It's great. I'm loving it.
Well, I mean, we got some decent traffic around the lodge, so even if they're not coming into the lodge, there's still foot traffic around it.
We got
and then it's also a Pokemon gym. So
that's our gym, by the way. So stay off.
You're damn right.
Team Mystic forever. Go away.
Yes. Go blue or go home.
By the way, shout out to, what is it? 5 years for Pokemon this
5
year?
years as of this recording
today.
It is Pokemon Go Fest. I know, sorry, little tangent here.
Wow,
it is Pokemon Go Fest currently as we are recording this. It is 5 years since Pokemon Go started, and I am a dork and I've been playing all day.
Gotta catch them all.
So
back to the real things at hand.
So that's really all my questions.
All right.
If you have anything,
Oh, I got questions.
Okay.
I always got, because I'm Billy Bilbo, and I have questions.
Arcs are done.
we have finished arcing, and it's now time.
Because you are
to
Andrew.
barbecue.
So thank you, Andrew Rizzatello. Didn't even drink. I didn't even drink. Thank you, Andrew Rizzatello, for your questions. So yeah, I have some BBQs for the both of you too. So Andrew,
Yes, sir.
we are now more than halfway through your year.
Yeah, I can't believe it.
How was it?
Stressful.
Yeah, stressful.
Specifically because, and I'm sure, Steve, you can say the same thing with your worshipful master, Brother Brian. The first half of the year was literally, you're chained down. You're dealing with personalities in the lodge that are disagreeing with the current government mandates, not even Grand Lodge, but the government mandates. And you're having to do a lot of middleman work, essentially. And tell them, like, listen, I can't do certain things because I'm not allowed to. I'd love to open the doors up and, just let the floodgates go kind of thing. But unfortunately, I don't want legal repercussions. So for the first 4 months at least, because May is when we really got back into it.
Like
for the first 4 months of this year, it was literally brick by brick trying to rebuild what had happened to Worshipful Brother, and in my case, Worshipful Brother De Lucia, being completely shut down and just been able to just do Zoom meetings, not even see each other.
Yeah, they were fun though.
They were again, nothing against him. He did a lot for what he was able to do.
Shout out to you, Pete. Again.
Yeah.
Thanks again. Yeah, that's great.
But the physical interaction is definitely one of the positives when it comes to Freemasonry. You definitely need that brotherhood aspect.
Of course.
And it's a mental thing too. Like I've always said this whenever a new candidate comes in, you walk in the door, you let go of your stresses, and because, as misogynistic as this sounds, because it is a group of men, there's a different mentality than if you go into any other group where there's women and children in it.
It's true.
As a man, your mentality will change. You either become protector, or you become, something else is driving you, as opposed to just going to, going and stop it.
You can say a creep. It's fine.
Well, but no, like something else goes through you. So to be able to walk into a room with a group of not just men, but similar-minded men,
Dudes,
trying to improve
basically.
yourself, it is a little bit of a mental release. It's almost, in my mind, I equate it to a little bit of a psychotherapy.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, like a bring down.
We have a good relevant saying at Navasink.
What's that?
Chris always says it.
Oh, jeez.
You know how our where we eat is downstairs. Usually our lodges are above it.
Yes.
So we make Masons up there. We make brothers down here.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. I have heard Chris say that before.
I like that double pun there too.
Yeah.
Chris. Nice. But that it's 100% true. It absolutely is. You make Masons upstairs because that's where you're doing your ritual, but downstairs is where you keep Masons.
That's the
where
bond, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So one for you, Steve-O. You ready?
Sure.
So, plans for the future. What's the goal? Masonically.
Have a successful and
well,
very
that's real bland.
Very prosperous.
Yeah. Oh,
I've got nothing in stone yet. Nothing outwardly planned. That a flagship for the year.
Gotcha.
I don't have that determined yet.
Honestly, that's senior warden.
Yeah. No.
That's when you're like, all right, my year is gonna be blank.
I'm crazy.
No. Well,
I have an outline.
Like, good for you, but
I'm nuts.
just realize that's got to be a fluid outline.
Oh yeah, there's question marks all over that jam. Yeah, it's a mess.
But we're already having leadership meetings with the senior deacon and all the wardens and the incoming master and all that. And we're trying to work out what we all want and suggestions for the upcoming year and the upcoming 2 years.
And that's exactly how it should work.
So
it's not just it's not just the worshipful master; it's his team.
Yeah. Oh,
We're in
yeah.
a comfortable position with the current incoming
Right.
officer line for the leadership.
Nice.
aspect of it.
Good.
And
Good.
we should see our new EAs. They're the most
Yeah.
passionate group I've ever seen.
You know what? So are ours.
Yeah, us
It's
too.
COVID. People were all stuck
Yeah,
away
'cause COVID.
and they
Yeah,
had no
'cause COVID.
fraternity or no people to be around aside
Nothing.
from probably their family.
Couldn't even go
As
to the
great
bar.
as family is, it's nice to.
But there's
Yes.
no, like I said, you walk through those
Yeah.
doors, and you know what's funny is the group of 5 guys that I brought in, 2 of them had been waiting since COVID. Like they became
Yeah.
EAs and they'd been waiting to become
Yeah.
fellow crafts.
My favorite Tekken player. Is one of them.
But like those guys, the new group, the 3 guys that came in under me,
Oh my God, they're
they
intense.
learned the EA ritual in a month
in a month.
and did it upstairs.
Learned it.
Learned it, and like
Yeah.
2 of them are my pro tem stewards because I didn't have master masons
Yeah.
because of COVID. I didn't have master masons to fill those chairs.
Yeah.
And they're it's not even grand slams. I can't even think of an analogy
there's
to.
not-
I've met them. I've met
Yeah,
them.
that's right. You
And
met,
you've eaten their
Great
food. have
food,
you? Oh my!
yes, yes.
There's no word. Like I can't.
Sorry, I don't know their names. Shout out to those guys.
To
Tony and Matt.
Yeah.
Tony and Matt. No, they're doing great. And
best.
even Ben Doda and Leja and all seriously the
Well, that's
EAs.
Tony.
They're the other Tony.
The other one. The other Tony.
Yeah, D-Jack. No, that's what it is. Those
D-Jack,
funny
yeah,
names.
D-Jack, yeah. Tekken. The Tekken guy.
It's nice to know other lodges are experiencing that.
It is.
Oh yeah, it's
Well,
fun.
I mean, speaking with Worshipful Brother Wood, you guys were saying you had like 100 people on your roster waiting.
that was not in the
The
queue.
website worked out really well.
Yeah.
Like, holy
Lots
crap.
of interest.
Oh, that's great. Oh, do you want to plug that? A little admin right now, real quick.
The Navasink Lodge 9.
.com.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
There
it.
you
Oh,
go.
you're .com?
It might be .org. I don't use that website.
Oh, no.
I am the Instagram and Facebook guy, although I've been really, really dark with COVID and everything.
It
That
gets
and,
troublesome.
I'm kind of waiting until our lodge is finished renovating until now that I've been dark for so long, I'd rather just come back with something.
Yeah, some hot
re-
stuff.
yeah.
I agree.
The new hotness. Come check out the new hotness.
Navasink Lodge number 9. If you look that up, you'll find anything about
Anything
us.
you want. Yep.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
about the Red Bank Lodge.
Yeah, the red.
So
yeah.
let's see
That's
what
right.
else. All right. So, question for both of you guys. So again, year's halfway through. Favorite part. What was your favorite part up to now? Either masonically or non-masonically, it doesn't matter. Inside the lodge or upstairs, in the fellowship room or upstairs.
The barbecue we just had. Yeah. That showed.
Missed it. So sorry.
No,
Don't
it's
worry
fine.
about it.
Don't
Do
worry.
not worry. But
You're good.
because we were worried because when we were planning it, we were still under restrictions, like government-wise, not masonically. Government-wise, we were still under restrictions. Still couldn't have so many people inside, outside, things like that. So we were really concerned that this wasn't going to be a good fundraiser, and
Yeah.
it blew up.
It was great. Yeah, we really had a good time.
And I think it was that release of the government, the state government turned around and said, yeah, outdoors unlimited, you can go out, have fun, just be careful. We had a live band. Three of the band members were past masters of our lodge. So it was
fun.
and they rocked it.
They
really did. They really did put on a
really
really
did.
good show, and there was a really strong showing. Grand Lodge guys showed up unexpectedly. Like there's a few Grand Lodge guys. I'm like, I've never seen you before. Who the hell are you?
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
But it's awesome to see that masonry was still alive and well,
Yeah.
as the catchphrase goes.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, I can't comment on our barbecue because I did arrange it, but I couldn't be there because I had to go to my grandma's birthday. She's turning 80.
Good
So
for her.
happy
God
birthday,
bless.
It was a great
Grandma.
time.
Yeah, happy
I
birthday,
missed out on a couple burgers at the lodge, but I see those guys every day.
Yeah,
I see
exactly.
those guys.
Nerd
And you go
burgers.
see them a lot more when you go through the higher chairs.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Believe me.
But I think favorite thing for the year is pretty general. It's probably when we were allowed to not wear masks inside lodge.
Yeah, that's fun. That is good goal, man. That's a good
as
one.
simple as that is, I understand.
That's
Yep.
that's it.
To
'Cause
see
we were-
everyone's
we were
face
always
again.
meeting up for rehearsal and everything still, and
Right.
everything indoors, and finally to unmask.
Breathe.
Yeah.
To breathe. Yeah.
It does get a little bothersome when you're trying to recite ritual.
Oh,
when you have a long diatribe.
You're
yeah.
trying to scream and that thing's in your mouth.
eating your mask.
Listen, nothing against the science behind it, nothing like that. But it was cumbersome.
Yeah. So mine is kind of corny, but it's where I am. You guys know I'm dad joke king. So a couple Tuesdays ago, I forget what it was. We were sitting out on the front porch of our lodge. It was like a few of us. You were there, and
that's typically how the night ends.
Yeah,
like that's Olive Branch for you.
And a storm was rolling in, and we all just kind of stopped and watched it. And I looked around, and I was like, we're a group of people. There were at least 10 of us out there. We are 10 people who are comfortable in a group silence. Nobody had
just enjoying nature.
Right, yeah, but it's very rare that you can find people that are that comfortable, that no one was so uncomfortable that they had to ruin.
It wasn't an
moment.
awkward science.
No, it definitely wasn't an and it was just all of us like just being in that moment and watching that storm roll in, and then it
is corny, but it's
corny. But for me, that was
I think it's funny because at Navasink we were having a rehearsal a couple weeks ago, and the storm was coming in. It was at Monmouth Lodge actually in the Atlantic Highlands. Sky turned green and just things are getting whipped around.
Supercell, yeah.
Me, Ted, and Bailey are outside just like we're
Just
watching
staring at
it, but we're also not being quiet. We're just like, oh my god,
this is
just
amazing.
geeking out over weather.
Yeah.
Like, how old are you?
Definitely wasn't a moment of silence. We were
No.
we're like, oh, this is gonna be terrible for everyone else.
But yeah, that's that to me that was like, yeah, here I am. I'm comfortable. It's my comfortable place. And it's like, here we are, guys.
So I want to do something a little special.
Yay.
As I mentioned at the beginning of the show, we have a different engineer this time. We have engineer Criss Madd.
Hello. Hey.
Can't hear you. Turn it up.
Check.
There you go.
There you are.
Chris and his girlfriend run a podcast called Ghosted.
Ghost, Ghosted.
Yes,
Ghosted.
and they discuss, the supernatural, sightings, various things like
the paranormal,
all that fun stuff. So I want to do a little bit of a 20-minute crossover with you for a second.
Ooh.
We at Olive Branch, at least 3 of the members, have experienced some form of paranormal activity. And I'm pretty sure any other Mason out there can say they've done the same because of just how long the fraternity has lasted. There's got to be some kind of energy stuck in some of these lodges.
Yeah.
Of the 3 of us here, Brother Bilbo experienced the heaviest. Actually, no, you were kind of like tied with Ken with the secretary's chair.
Yeah, I mean, I had visual confirmation of mine. I wasn't full spirit. It was, partial because I didn't get a good look, but I did have visual and audio. So, do you want to hear my story, Chris?
Absolutely.
So,
Quit teasing us.
a little bit of backstory about me. I'm a weird guy. I enjoy dark, creepy places. I sit in my room in my house is a dark, solid black cave, just a small light.
He's a troll.
Yeah,
He's literally a troll.
I'm a hobbit. It's my hobbit hole. That's how it goes. So the reason I tell you this is because when I was at the lodge, I was there by myself. It was a Thursday night. It was when I was a steward. And what I do still, and I used to do, is I would go just to check on the place because I always like to make sure.
House committee.
Yeah, make sure I'm the head of the house committee now, probably because I was doing stuff like that. And so I'm getting ready to leave. All the lights are off, and I'm downstairs. And I walk out of the kitchen, and I make a left to go to the front door. And the way that our hall is, you have to walk up a set of steps. You have to walk all the way through the fellowship hall, through the foyer, and then up a set of steps. So I walk through the fellowship hall, and while I'm walking through the fellowship hall, I start hearing a jingle, and like keys or coins being knocked together. So I reach in my pocket, and I'm like, yeah, it's clearly my keys. And I grab my keys, and I start walking.
Debunked.
Right? So when I get to the stairs, I'm still holding my keys, and the sound starts again. And it's very clear that it's not my keys, and I know it was the sound, and I even looked at my keys in my hand. So I'm like, all right, I guess it's like, let me just go. I'm just going to go.
Chris, come over here and get in camera because I need to show the audience your facial reactions.
So I walk up the stairs, still holding my keys in my hand, and I go to reach for the front door. And out of the corner of my eye, it looked like someone was upstairs.
There we
We'll
go.
scoot over a little bit. Hold on.
There he is. Ladies and gentlemen, Criss Madd.
So again, just for a little bit of detail, the way our lodge works, there's the front door once you come up the stairs from the bottom level, and then it's like a split level house where you go up another set of stairs, and then you go up to where our actual lodge room is. So I see on that second set of stairs going up towards the lodge room, I see out of the corner of my eye a shadow. Looks like something's walking up. So I'm like, great, now I can't leave because if there's a person in here, they're definitely getting out. If it's an animal, I got to do something about it. So I walk up the stairs and I peek my head around. And as I peek my head around, I see a set of boots, mid-calf, and a jacket that went down to just above the edge of the boots. Very clearly, like it was, and it went. So we have a set of wooden double doors that lock off our thing. They went right through those doors. So what did I do? I turned my head. I ran as fast as I could out of the lodge, but that's not the end of the story. As I was locking the door, something pushed back on the door so much so that I had to physically put my knee on the door and
Yeah, buddy.
yep.
Look at that. Look at that. I can
And,
physically see ghost bumps on him.
So we have 3 steps that lead down to the street. I didn't touch any of them. I immediately from the porch to my car. Yeah, there was, and I ran. And I got to tell you, since then, it doesn't bother me to be in there alone. And some of these guys will attest. I will say goodnight to them when I leave.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I say hello. I say hello and goodnight to all the guys.
Yep. You got to acknowledge they're there.
That guy was
but-
well dressed.
Yeah.
Sounds like.
Right,
Yeah.
So, all right. So, to complement Billy's story, there was a past master of our lodge from 1912. Our lodge has existed from 1849. Olive Branch Lodge. Yeah, it's old. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. Very old.
It's moved. The physical building has moved down the street in Freehold.
1962, but not less than a mile down the road.
Yeah. So, but there was a past master from 1912, and we have his photo up on our wall, and he's very obviously in a military uniform. And we also had something up there, we call it the past master's plaque, and it showed all the different masters from all the different years. Do you know, you've heard of Laird's Vodka?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
He was a
Laird,
past master.
not the distiller, but his brother,
Yeah.
little brother, was one of our past masters. There's a lot of history, believe me.
If you know Freehold, Shank, Bone, B-O-W-N-E,
Throckmorton. Those are gentlemen that were
Yeah.
masters of our lodge. So, this master from 1912, like I said, photo is obviously very military. If you looked at the past master's plaque, 1912, there were 2 masters because someone left. So we don't know, we don't have written proof, but my assumption is that gentleman who was in the military uniform had to go overseas because 1912, it's beginning World War I, things are getting heated in Europe. So he had to leave, and the next gentleman, his senior warden, took over. No animosity, just things happen. I guarantee he wanted to finish his year in lodge,
And he comes back
and
now.
he comes back.
Wow, just to finish off the job because you know he was right in ceremony.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The transition that would make so much sense because I mean I'm sure a lot of the stuff had been carried over from that one spot to the next anyway.
So the other big spiritual thing with our lodge.
This is a large caveat,
Yes,
by the way.
yes. Where our current lodge sits on Dutch Lane Road is where the first shots of the Battle of Monmouth were fired.
Yep. We were on the British side.
So show your face to the camera. You were leaning back so bad.
Just
So-
like that, but the first shots, the battle
Literally,
of
that's
Monmouth.
that's our calling card for Olive Branch.
Yeah, everyone
but
that comes in.
the first shots of the Battle of Monmouth, the British soldiers were standing where our building is now. They fired across the street to where the Borough High School is, where the Colonials, hence the name of their team, stood.
What?
Yeah.
So you know, if you are any type of spiritual person, there is a large.
Oh my God.
I'm surprised we're not on a ley line type thing.
Yeah.
So I have no doubt that there are visitors from past and present that walk through our lodge simply because of that.
Just that alone is ginormous.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just because, like, especially the Battle of Monmouth was
It was a very
Oh, yeah.
important battle that happened in the
Absolutely, yeah.
Revolutionary War.
extremely decisive. So I just like all the energy whipping around there and the fact seeing obvious like military regalia, high boots with the long jacket to go right.
Yeah, Revolutionary War era type thing.
Yeah.
We have in our lodge we have letters from brothers from World War I, like writing back and saying hello, how are you, kind of thing. We have a book. We actually our worshipful brother Ken made a binder for all of these letters.
All the correspondence.
It wasn't even called the Army; it was the American Expeditionary Force.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and the handwriting was beautiful.
Oh God, cursive, like legit.
Why do we use cursive in school? This is why, because it's absolutely beautiful. So that's his story. My story is very, very light compared to his. I was in the kitchen with Worshipful Brother Long. We're cleaning up. It always happens when we're cleaning up. It's never during lodge.
Yeah, they're mad because we're doing stuff.
Yeah, because we're making
Moving
noise.
stuff around, you're wrapping it up.
So we we clean. I look over and I see someone walk into our library. Now, when I say library, it's only about the size of this room. But it has legitimate books from the 1800s and whatever else in it.
Cool library.
It is. It's nice.
It is
But
really
I
cool
saw, legs walk in there,
Making a beeline
going in.
for the
Yeah.
library.
Yes. So someone wanted some knowledge.
Maybe it was the same. Bet that we goofed a little bit right here, so we're gonna go back to Andrew in 3, 2, 1. Andrew.
The biggest story, and unfortunately, Brother Long isn't here to describe it, but I will to the best of my ability.
His is freaky.
He is similar to Billy. We have a team of guys that go in. We call them the house community. They go in. They make sure everything's prim and proper. He's downstairs. He's cleaning up. He's the only one in lodge, which is typical. It's only like maybe a 2-man crew.
Yeah, Max.
He was bang from upstairs. He's like, great. What the fuck? I'm sorry, cursing. What the hell's going on? Animal got in, similar to Billy. So he goes upstairs, he unlocks the door, and he goes into the actual lodge room. Now, in the lodge room, the worshipful master, or president, myself, sits up 3 steps in a chair, and then to his right and left are the secretary and treasurer.
Like a but the worshipful master has like a Mr. Burns chair, like his.
Yes, very fancy.
Yeah.
The chair for the secretary, which is a similar rolling chair to like this,
regular roller chair.
on the ground over about 10 feet from where the desk is. And also in front of the worshipful master, next to the secretary treasurer desk, are these large marble bricks. Do you have them at Navasink?
Yeah.
Also, okay.
They're
called
ashlars.
ashlars. All right, and they're allegory to fixing yourself. One is rough, one is smooth.
Oh,
Okay?
okay. Yeah.
They were moved. They're solid marble. These things are at least 15, 20 pounds.
Yeah, minimum.
They were moved.
Moved.
Brother Long said,
Gotta go.
gotta go. And he left. We have a brother from Caesarea, I believe, our lodge and keeper.
Madawan.
I'm sorry, Madawan. Jeffrey Carpenter. He's a medium.
He's a
Riki.
A Riki.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So we asked him, like, dude, could you speak to someone?
Do you want to
see what's going on?
sent
Just
a
go
message.
upstairs. Yeah, just go upstairs and see if there's anything.
He did. And so after one of our ritual nights, he went upstairs by himself, closed the door, lights off, and he communicated with whomever was up there.
He had a
And according to
conversation,
him, they were having a meeting. These individuals were having a meeting upstairs, and there was a individual who was not a Mason who decided to come upstairs and sit in a chair that wasn't his, to the point where it made the secretary mad, and the secretary stood up and threw his chair and yelled at whomever this individual was. So, and listen, I'm a very skeptical individual. There are times, yes, I do believe that there's something there. Energy cannot be created nor destroyed. So definitely there's something there, but
Yikes.
I don't doubt Brother Long. Brother Long would not lie about something like that.
No, definitely not.
He's not that type of guy. So to hear that
skeptical.
a chair is thrown and that marble piece of stone was moved.
That's unbelievable, right?
It is. It legitimately is.
Like, what?
Yeah. So, yes.
I thought I was crazy.
Because he was the
honestly.
first one who experienced
I
something.
thought I was nuts, and then he told me about the chair, and I'm like, yeah, they can move stuff. Like, that's not right. That's not
Imagine to
great.
be so heated
Yeah.
that in the afterlife. You're
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
You're pissing me off.
exactly.
bald guy
like,
from
how
Ghost?
bad is it? So again, going on with Brother Carpenter's medium, apparently our lodge is host to various spirits and various individuals that served in the war and everything else, and they pass through, and a lot of them are brothers. They hold meetings because this is something that connects us all.
Yeah.
Both spiritually and physically. And yeah. So you need to bring your show to our lodge.
Taking it all in.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm mobile, man. I can bring it.
Let's
I've got
do
the
it,
mics.
yeah.
I've got the board.
Tuesday nights.
Oh, man.
We could do.
Sounds like
something
fun.
out.
We've been
Yeah,
trying-
you can.
We've been trying to get a ghost story.
And also, we
sleepover for
are
a while
not
now.
under any influence of any kind.
Yeah.
We are completely sober when these things happened.
Yes, I am never under any
Yeah.
influence of
Yeah,
any kind.
Yeah.
That word, that's the
Except
word.
maybe the person sitting next to him. But but no, like these things, it wasn't like oh, I'm feeling the spirits, man. No,
Nope.
I was stone cold sober,
Yep.
cleaning the kitchen sink. You
Yeah.
know,
I was in my
That's the
I was
worst.
in my work uniform just drinking
Yeah.
a bottle of water. Unless the water was spiked, but
Like the spirits.
yeah,
MK
literal spirits.
but
Oh, my God.
Yes, sir.
Wow. That is just wild. But
Yeah.
with all, you've got so many things that you collect that have been at least 100, 200 years old.
We have a logbook from 1849 from our minutes.
That connection is
Yeah.
binding right there.
Yes.
That and the fact that they come to your meeting room where you do the ceremonies and then hold their own meetings and ceremonies.
yeah.
We've talked about how masonry is over 300 years old, and that's the written aspect of it.
Yeah.
But the idea of men getting together and performing these mystery schools and things like that, and good thing Kevin's not here because that could take another hour if he starts talking
Oh my
about that.
God, yeah, the mystery.
Sumerian myths. No. But like the idea that this brotherhood has existed since almost time immemorial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Makes
Yeah.
you think.
It absolutely does.
But that's the experience alone of you being there by yourself, doing just, standard tasks that you need to get done through the day, and then all of a sudden, what's going on upstairs?
Right.
There's no one else here. What?
And like I tried to explain it away at first because I was skeptical. I was never one of those people that believed in ghosts.
Maybe I
and-
thought it was pushing on the door.
Yeah, right. And
It's the wind.
it's just, and there's another brother. He's not here. He spent overnights at the lodge,
yes.
and he has heard legit things, and he's gone upstairs and nothing, and it's not just. And I used to think, oh, you're full of it. You're
Yeah,
not.
yeah.
And then I had my experience, and then it was like months, less than a year later.
Oh, less than a year.
Ken had his experience, and I'm like, yeah, okay, maybe. And they deserve respect, so let's.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You know?
Every time, if I'm in the lodge by myself, if I have to do anything there, I walk in, I say hello, I do what I got to do. All right, brothers, have a good night, and I leave.
I've done that before.
Seriously,
Yeah.
I have
yeah.
done that
Even if this doesn't exist and this isn't real and nothing happens after you die,
Right.
it doesn't matter. I'm still respect the dead.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
I
it
feel that.
seriously.
It's a safer bet.
Yeah.
Just in case. I want to have my cards in the right spot.
Yes, absolutely. Have you felt anything like that at Navasink?
No, aside from hearing noises upstairs, like when me and a couple others would be downstairs, like it would hear footsteps and stuff. But we never really went on quests to find the noisemakers.
I'll go on
But
the quest.
I have a story about when I'm convinced I would have seen a ghost if I progressed any further, which is why I turned around. I had a friend who had a stepbrother or a friend or something who he had this like huge house in Rumston or something, like on Shadow Lake or something. I don't know. And we did the party there or something, and he was like, "Oh, well, ask them about Mary." And I'm like, "Well, who's Mary?" And he's like, "Are you guys Mary?" He's like, No, Mary's the ghost upstairs. And I'm like, "Oh, okay." I ask other people, I'm like, "You know Mary? Do you know Mary?" And they're like, "Yeah, like we've seen her and all that stuff." So I'm like, "All right, well, either my friend like rused everyone to
Right.
like told him to tell me this,
Yeah.
or like everyone's seen Mary." And so they're like, her hot spot is the master bedroom's bathroom. And I'm like, okay, so upstairs only. He's like, no, I've seen things downstairs too. I'm just telling, everyone's in the house now. No one's upstairs, so like you'll probably see her upstairs.
Right.
And I'm just like, okay. I'm like, I'm a little buzzed. I'm like, okay, like cool, like whatever. Let me go check this out. I like open my phone. I'm filming like as I'm walking around.
Okay.
Flashlight on. Like I'm not turning on any lights in the house or
No,
anything
no.
upstairs. And like, so I decided, all right, master bedroom last. I'm like, let me check everywhere else, right? So I'm, as I'm opening the doors, it's like, you might be brave going in, but the moment you're in darkness and like then
there's
you're
absolutely.
going to open another door and something might be on the other side of it, even though it's never happened before. It might.
You never know. Yeah.
So I go through like each room of the big house, and then like I get to the master bedroom and I walk in and like I see the door to the bathroom is ajar, and it's one of those bathrooms that has like a whole wall is the mirror.
Oh yes,
And
very
so
classic.
I still like I'm standing there and like I get a little cold and I'm just like I'm not going in that room. I go I'm not walking into that bathroom and like I might have hyped myself up throughout every other
yeah.
Oh, of course.
every other non-scary
Yeah.
room. Now that I'm finally like, all right, well this is where they said I'd see her, and
Right.
I'm like maybe it's not worth it.
No,
maybe it's not worth
we've
it.
all been there. It doesn't matter how old you are. You get to a
I'm
point where it's
picturing some like Bloody Mary, Luigi's
yeah,
Mansion stuff with a wall mirror.
Resident Evil.
I'm like, first of all, I've never
Yeah,
been like rarely ever been in front of wall mirrors. I'm like, let me not. But no, I've not actually seen any.
No,
I've heard sounds like from like I said at the lodge.
Well, you had a lot. So another small notice is like sometimes lodge folds. It's like I said, business. Sometimes lodge fold. Navasink is actually how many lodges do you have? 7.
Lots.
Yeah,
There's like a list of them, and we have the plaques of it. So
There's
Washington
a-
Lodge.
Yeah, they
Mystic
all folded and
Brotherhood.
became part of this one lodge, Navasink Lodge, in there. So in their building, they have 3 floors.
Yeah.
And there's various. It's not just the Freemasons, but there's the, as we call, appendant bodies.
Technically, like it's sort of like 4, because like when you come up.
Well, yeah, you got the
sub
but-
levels and all that. So
It's
like
creepy.
3 full stories.
Yeah, 3 full stories and then the
Yes.
attic,
Right.
quote unquote. But like the bodies that are in their lodge, I could very much, if we want to go down the path of spirits and whatnot, like the Amaranth Room. Mm-hmm. I 100% believe that there's ladies and men up there that are enjoying fellowship and whatnot.
It's a spooky room.
It is.
Like
It's a beautiful
the
room.
Shag like carpeting that was
Oh yeah,
initially
it's
up
straight out
there.
the 70s
Yeah.
style.
Oh,
Well, you saw what our library looked like a couple of years ago. It
Yes.
was really cool before we changed it to hardwood. I liked that carpet.
It was. It was
like
really. It was
the
nice.
Green, blue
yeah,
plaid.
yeah,
like
yeah.
green.
oh my god! Wow, that's okay. I get it, but hardwood's so classy.
Yeah, it really is.
Click.
Oh yeah, there's that too.
You hear them coming for you.
Yes, you'll know they're.
It's like, wait. What do I hear? I hear that's the Master Mason degree. Okay. So I think that about does it.
I got nothing else.
No. Anything?
No.
Would you like to plug your stuff?
Oh,
because you have a litany of things, and thank you for being our engineer.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Absolutely, guys. I appreciate it. You can find me at Criss Madd Jr. on Instagram. I do just about everything. I do engineering stuff. I do music stuff. You can find us at Serious Matters NJ. If you're in the Red Bank area, there are 2 shows in August coming up that we would love to have you at.
All right.
We've been selling out all the time.
Yes, I heard.
And
Good for you.
yeah, I mean, Ghosted is coming back too with a season 2. We've got
Oh,
we're lining up
awesome.
guests as we speak. Which
Hi,
is
we're
gonna be
guests.
Awesome. Oh, look at that. Things are going fantastic. The
great,
stash is
congrats.
going great. We
Yes.
opened up the Smod Castle.
yeah,
Yes.
Everything is awesome.
Yep, sounds
Great.
great.
And as we said at the beginning of the show, you can find us at The Extended Branch on Instagram, on the Olive Branch Lodge 16 YouTube page. We have the email address is wegotbbqs@gmail.com. Seriously, email us. We'll
Yeah,
answer to the best of our abilities.
I check it every day.
Yeah.
You know, I will absolutely. And plus, we'll answer your question. It'll be fun.
Yeah, as much as we can. So, for Brother Steve Hertel, Brother Billy Bilbo,
Peace out.
and Gentleman Criss Madd, I am Andrew Zatello, and this has been The Extended